What is the best accidental nudity you have seen? I was at my friend's beach house when I was 16. He had a really hot sister that was about 20 at the time. We were watching TV in the living room and she comes in to hang out with us wearing a t-shirt and loose-fitting boy shorts. Looked more like boxers, to be honest. She sat near me and put her legs up in such a way that I had a marvelous view of her lady parts through the baggy leg of the shorts. I tried not to stare, but it was pretty cool when I was 16. Watched our 19-year-old neighbor and her two friends hop over the big stone fence in our backyard and promptly shed all of their clothes to put on bathing suits and swim in our pool while my family was out of town. Guess they didn't know I was there playing Warcraft 3 instead of on vacation. Edit. I never said anything or told her, and really didn't leave the house/my room that whole week, so they probably never even suspected that I was 14 at the time, a sophomore in high school. She had been a senior at my school when I was a freshman. She graduated and was then going to a big state university in our city. There's an outdoor shower near the pool too, and I heard them using it later that night but couldn't get up to look as Frozen Throne PvP was just too important. Walking to school on a soggy morning, saw my art teacher in her minivan changing her clothes. Normally, you can't really see into the side passenger area windows well because they were semi-tinted a deeper color, but it just stopped raining a bit earlier and the sun came through the clouds and shined down on the car, lighting it and the area in general up very bright, and I could see right into the car window. Mind you, my art teacher was 29 at the time, fit and moderately attractive. Full-on boobies. I was 14, in 9th grade. Probably one of the best days at school followed thereafter. Female friend of mine was getting ready for her sister's wedding. She was sending me snaps of herself asking questions like, necklace or no? To me and her BF, and she accidentally sent me a picture of her tits hanging out in the dress she was wearing. Edit. Trust me, she did not intend on sending me that pic. 10/10. I install security alarms, cameras, sensors, locks. On one install I placed a camera in the master bedroom like the husband had asked. While I was still there installing, I was checking the cameras and finishing up the tests, and the wife came out of the bathroom completely naked from the shower. I hastily tried to exit the screen, but the husband, who was peering over my shoulder, told me not to and just stared at his naked wife while I was in between him and the screen. During college, I was drunk at a party that ended up moving to a local bar. One of the hot girls in the class ahead of mine came up to me and this other dude. The other dude, I guess, had a bet with her or something and took her walking up as the perfect time to remind her. He said, "Remember, you still need to flash me for who care what it was." I might be paraphrasing. She gives him an annoyed look and then just flashes the both of us for a good 5 to 10 seconds. Very nice boobs would look again. When I was in 3rd grade, we had a really pretty, red-headed student teacher. I can't remember her name, but I remember she was teaching us French for some reason. Apparently she spoke it really well. I'm not sure why that'd be part of the 3rd grade experience. One day she came over to help me at my desk with something and leaned on my desk and bent over. For whatever reason, she decided not to wear a bra that day, and right in front of my face, swinging in her dress, were the biggest boobs I had seen up to that point. It was glorious. I truly believe that event changed me and set the type of women I've been into ever since. It was certainly a formative experience. I was in London, and my sister and I got last-minute tickets to see Patrick Stewart in A Life in the Theatre. We had amazing seats, 3rd or 4th row center. So at one point during the play, Patrick Stewart sits down on a folding chair, right in the center, in front of us. He was wearing loose shorts. And his fucking balls were showing through the shorts. They were huge. It was glorious and incredibly awkward at the same time. The whole scene, he's just balls out. I still can't look at him without thinking, dude, I saw your balls. Around 16 at the time, I left my house after my sister and her two friends came over, one of which is just absolutely banging with an amazing body that I may have thought about once or twice. Anyway, nobody else was home. Forgot something in my room, so I ran back in, but I guess nobody heard me come in. I walk down the hallway to my room and pass my sister's doorway that was open. I glance over and my brain locks me into place mid-stride, jaw hits the floor while it burns the image of her butt naked cupping her breasts. They all look over at me and scream. I can't look away. She runs toward me and closes the door. I ran to my room, took a few minutes to savor what I saw, and left. Work at a hotel on the beach. Usually, every night before I leave I take a walk around the building, just make sure everything is okay, people are quiet, etc. All of our rooms have balconies, but luckily the way our building is set up you can't see into another balcony from another balcony. Earlier that day I had a newlywed couple checking in. All went normal then. Later that night, did my rounds, and I saw them on their balcony. He's leaning up against a patio chair turned backwards, pants pulled down, and she's sitting on the chair, giving him head. Okay, for all purposes that's technically an evictable offense, but I just remembered they're a newlywed couple, no one else can see them on their balcony the way our building is configured, so I just turned around, walked back inside, and let it be. At least I know their marriage got off to a good start. Hopefully it stayed that way. There is a place where, back in the 80s, we'd all go during the summer called Dripping Springs. It was on a local lake, like a big cove. People would tie their boats together and there was a place you could swim to, climb up a 30 or 40-foot tall cliff, easily, there was a trail, and jump off. As people got more alcohol in them, the clothes would start coming off. We were tied to this big 35-foot boat that had a bunch of really attractive women on it. One of them was just absolutely gorgeous. I said to my brother, if only she'd take her bikini off, my day would be made. My brother said, I think she heard you. My wife said, I heard that. A few minutes later someone from the other boat whistles at me. I look over, and it's that chick buck naked smiling at me. She does a spin and walks away. My wife hit me in the back of the head. I used to work in an electronics store. We regularly had promo staff and reps in on the weekends to sell their stuff in store. This particular weekend we had 3 models in promoting some camera or other. Late afternoon I go into the customer collections room where reserved stock is kept to look for an item. As I'm clearly in there looking for something, these 3 girls burst in and start stripping off their branded dresses to change and go home. In shock I say, do you want me to go out? And they're like, nah, it's okay. Then some checkout girl comes in and laughs, gasps and drags me out. Gutted.